Good afternoon. My name is Andy, and today I will be playing the New York Times Flashback. So, the objective of this quiz is to place the eight events in chronological order. They'll they won't give you the year, so you'll have to kind of deduce where all these events will go. This is a game that I normally play every Saturday because that's when they will have a new game every week. So let's get started. Place one event for you. After being a plague for millennia, smallpox becomes the first disease that's eradicated by humanity. Cool. Okay, so the first event that we have is the Hokoham people settle in the southwest and later vanish. When a modern city rises from their ruins, the founders will decide to call it Phoenix. So obviously, this is going to be way before. Um, and sometimes for these, I like to guess what the year might be. Even if you're really off the mark, it's still kind of fun to guess what it could be. So I would guess, um, let's see, settle in the southwest and later vanish when a modern city rises from. I honestly would probably call it. I would say it's like in the either like really early, like in the BC era, or it could be like kind of recent. Okay, I'm gonna guess like 1500, but I could be way off. 300. Wow, I was way off. Okay, after Pope Gregory the 10th dies, the first papal conclave is held. Speed is encouraged. The longer the cardinals deliberate, the less food they get. So yeah, this was basically like in response to the death of Pope Francis, because usually these events correlate with current events that have happened. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure this has to be like in between here. As far as the year is concerned, God, I think I looked it up like some time ago. I don't remember, but probably like the 1200s. Oh, kind of close. Alrighty. To protest high rent, Irish activists urge people not to do business with a local land agent. Their strategy becomes named after the agent, Charles Boycott. Oh, that is interesting. Hmm. This sounds like uh okay, this probably sounds like it's in modern times. Probably like the 19th century. I mean, I guess that's when they had like apartments back then. Well, I'm sure they've had those for a while, but now they're like essentially like charging them a lot of money. 1880, okay. Yeah. Machiavelli writes The Prince, a ruthless guide to power. It's based partly on the rule Cesare Borgia, who seizes power but is unable to keep it. Okay, so this takes place during the Renaissance. Well, it's in that within that vicinity. It's probably like the 16th century, if I had to guess. It could be a little earlier, but it's no. I think it probably is a little earlier. Yeah, it's like probably more like the 15th century, even the 14th. Okay, let's try it. Okay, 16th. Yeah. Annoyed at coffee grounds in her cup, the inventor Melita Bentz rips a page from her son's notebook. She creates and patents the paper coffee filter. Oh, that is interesting. Annoyed at coffee grounds in her cup. Ooh, from her son's. Ah, that's very interesting. This sounds like a really modern invention. Like, I'd like to think this is probably probably like early 20th century. Cuz I mean, I don't think they even had like coffee machines until probably like around that time too, I would guess. So this probably came after like the invention. Yeah, it definitely came after the invention of like the coffee machine. And it seems like a very modern invention, kind of like with the toaster. It would probably be somewhere between here, if I had to guess, but I could be wrong. Sometimes I could be like pretty off the mark with these, embarrassingly so. So let's try it. 1908. Okay, cool. In Victorian England, the magician John Henry Anderson gains fame for making animals appear. He's among the first to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Okay. Oh. So, the fact they say Victorian England, it obviously makes me think about the 19th century. And surely it's not going to be after 1880 because, well, it could be, but it certainly won't take place like after 1908 because I know Queen Victoria reigned from, it was like the 1840s to 1901 or something. I mean, she was a pretty long reigning, or like she had a pretty long reign. I mean, it just seems reasonable to place it before 1880. And I guess this picture also looks very old, so it makes me think like it's going to be 1850 or something. Could be wrong, but let's try it. 1840, okay. 10 years off. Sailing near Australia, Captain James Cook discovers part of the Great Barrier Reef when his ship runs into it and starts taking on water. So, I think this was during the time of exploration. That's when you have like all these explorers from England. Well, not just England, but like, just Europe in general, who are like sailing around the world and like finding new places, whether it's like, America or Africa, India, Australia, etc. And I think this has to be sometime around like the 1700s or like the 18th century. And like, I'm just trying to think, Australia was technically discovered by the British like around that time, I think. Uh, yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet to place it here. 1770. Okay. Yeah, and it's interesting because I think like around that time was when America became independent in 1776, and then afterwards, America was no longer like the penal colony for like the English people, so they ended up using Australia as the new penal colony. So it's interesting. Okay, the writer Demetrius Phaleris first collects a set of tales featuring hares, tortoises, and other animals that are known as Aesop's fables. Oh, okay. Hmm. The writer. I mean, these date back like a really long time. Like I think Aesop's like a pretty old old writer, like probably dating back to like early Greece or something. Ah, oh, this one's tricky. Let me see. Uh, I am not totally sure if I'm being honest. I mean, this one's gonna be kind of a crapshoot because this seems like it could be like some kind of archivist who collects these stories from Aesop. Um, I am not totally sure. Hmm. Ooh. Yeah. So my guess could be like either before 300 or could be after. Um, Shoot, I'm trying to remember Aesop was actually when he was actually alive. I should know this. I don't. Ah, um, yeah, I mean these are very old stories that have been passed down. Demetrius Phalaris collects a set of tales. 1276. Oh boy. I would say between here. Uh, I mean, I'm trying to figure out why I want to place it here. And my rationale might not even be all that reasonable. Because I would think like Aesop kind of lived around the same time as, all these philosophers. I don't know if I would say he's like a philosopher himself either, but he is like kind of similar to them in some ways. So I'm not sure. I mean, I guess like happened, what would have happened was like all these fables were probably like not well known, or like they were written, but then you have someone like Demetrius who unearthed all of these stories and actually made them public, or not public, but you know what I mean, like uh, made them more relevant, for a lack of a better term, or like made them well known. That's what I was trying to get at. Uh, all right, I'm just gonna guess this. Oh man, I was wrong. Ooh. Yeah, I guess it's this one that probably tripped everyone up. Yeah, this one tripped me up as well. Yeah, I should have thought about this. Like I should have known that this was way before. I don't know why I didn't go for that first. Oh well. Yeah, unfortunately I can't scroll down for these, so I can't really see like what people actually like voted for or whatever. Okay, but that is all for today's flashback. I hope you enjoyed my playthrough, and I hope to play more of this like every week when the new flashback drops. Alrighty, I'll catch you all later.